Hey, business-minded mama. I'm so grateful that you are here and that you are ready to grow an authentic community and scale your impact. Hi, I'm Stephanie Parenza, the voice behind Business-Minded Mama podcast, local and small business advocate, and entrepreneur. I've created this community because I want to help business-minded mamas like you build your dream business by finding your authentic community and gaining control and clarity on the financial aspects of your business by managing your own books. Now, let's tap into your own potential. Good morning and welcome back after Christmas. I hope you guys had a wonderful Christmas. I hope you had time with your family, and I am here today to finally talk about 1099s and filling you in. I did not give you this information on Christmas Eve because as I was doing my research and mapping out my plan for this episode, just so you know, as a tax preparer, we are required to do continuing education each year by the end of the year. And so it's me being the procrastinator, I usually wait until the very end. And luckily, I did not record the podcast for you until I did some of my additional training and education, because things have changed in 2020 when it comes to how you submit the payments that you have made to your independent contractors or non-employees. So this is great. So here I am. I am aligned with all of the changes here and here to fill you in. If you are used to submitting a 1099 miscellaneous form, it is now a 1099 NEC form that you will be submitting to those that you have paid who are not your employees. So let's kind of break it down. I'm going to keep this simple for you, and I want you to be aware of that because there may be a few of you out there who have more complicated situations, and I want you to know that maybe you might require a little extra help with a tax consultant or a tax preparer in order to get yours filed. But for most of you entrepreneurs out there, you should be able to go ahead and handle this on your own, and I'm going to kind of walk you through that. So the 1099 NEC form. This form is going to be used to show any non-employee compensation paid out. So if you have a person or a business that you outsourced to for your business here in 2020, then you will need to send them this form, assuming you paid them more than $600 throughout the year of 2020. Okay, so these people or businesses are not your employees. You do not use them regularly or consistently or solely. Making sure they're not an employee, that they should not be considered an employee, is key. If you have someone that is available to you 8 to 5, you might want to reconsider the independent contractor status and shift them to an employee. But for those of you who are just outsourcing here and there, even if you have someone that you use monthly, but they are not your full-time employee, that is okay. They will be considered an independent contractor. And if you paid them over $600 in 2020, you will need to send them a 1099 NEC. So the very first thing that would be crucial when using a independent contractor would be to obtain a W-9 right away. You'll need to have this information in order to do this filing, and it also is good to have just to make sure they're a legitimate company or not trying to hide anything. So on this form, they give their name, their address, their business ID number, their social security number, depending on how they are structured. They also give their business structure, and this right here will be very crucial in determining if and when you need to send this form to them at the end of the year or after the end of the year. So super important that you have one of these for each and every person that you may use, and keeping it on file is also very important. So if the person that you subcontracted out to is an LLC, or if they're a partnership, or if they're a sole proprietor, you will need to send out this 1099 NEC to them by January 31st, okay? If they are a corporation, or even if they're an LLC that is just being taxed as an S corporation or C corporation, then you would not need to send one. So this is why the W-9 becomes very crucial, because it will give you the information that you need to determine if this form needs to be sent to them or not. There will be 2 copies to the 1099 NEC. There will be a copy A and a copy B. And the copy A you will send to the IRS. The copy B you will send to the contractor. Once again, it must be sent to them by January 31st. If most likely, I'm going to guess you all are going to be doing electronically if possible. If for some reason you choose to file paper, there is also another form called a 1096 that is essentially a cover sheet that you would need to mail in to the IRS as well. But I highly recommend doing electronically. I think that's the way we are moving these days. And so if you can do that, that's great. So there are some different ways you can file electronically. The IRS has a system, and I'm going to put that in the show notes for you, a link to that if you want to check it out. Otherwise, going to Staples, Office Max, Walmart, or wherever you can get your office supplies at, they also have some options there, software options, or even if you want paper copies for any reason, they do sell paper copies along with the software as well to help you get through this process. So that is totally up to you on how you do this. Also, some accounting programs have options for this. Now, I'm going to segue here a little bit because this is going to tie into my plans for the Bookkeeping Basics Bootcamp updates that are coming in January. And that is, I will be covering a different version of QuickBooks in the course. And in this version of QuickBooks, you do have the option of sending the 1099s through QuickBooks, which has been really nice. I use this feature for my clients. You get all the information in there, or honestly, it should be transferring from your QuickBooks because you are obviously taking care of your books throughout the year. And so all this information will then flow through to QuickBooks. You basically just have to check it over, make sure it all looks good, and then hit submit, and QuickBooks will mail out the 1099s for you and file them with the IRS. And it is wonderful. It is super simple. Of course, there is a fee that comes along with that, but there is a fee for anything if you decide to file electronically. So I do recommend that if that is something that you want to consider for 2021, please look into the Bookkeeping Basics Bootcamp right now. Jump on it, get started, get your books started fresh for the new year. Make sure you're all set up and ready to go. So when December 31st, 2021 comes around, you feel confident in your books and you feel ready to take on 2022. You feel ready to file your 2021 taxes when they come due with no questions asked, just as simple as passing over your information to your tax preparer, or even using a software if you so choose, which will also be coming up in my training as well in that course. So all of these things will be super helpful. But for this year, if you are not in an accounting software right now that will do that for you, there are other options. I'm going to put them in the show notes for you. But make sure you get out this new Form 1099 NEC by January 31st to avoid any penalties to your business. You must do this if you paid them $600 or more. If you do not already have W-9s for your contractors, make sure you get them as soon as possible. And also keep that in mind as you progress forward in 2021. As you outsource anything, please collect this information right up front before you even make the first payment to them. This will be super helpful in closing your year. I hope you found this helpful, and I will see you again later.
Did you like what you heard on today's podcast? Or do you know a business-minded mama that could benefit from hearing this? Take a screenshot and share this with your community. And don't forget to give me a review. Want to chat more? Find me on Facebook in the Business Minded Mama Facebook page, or on Instagram at Mrs. and Sis, or through my website, www.businessmindedmama.com.